Bears fans, let me ask you something right now. What if the move that could quietly change this entire defense is not some impossible blockbuster, not some fantasy trade that will never happen, but a veteran pass rusher with real name value, real experience, and just enough juice left to make life miserable for opposing quarterbacks? Because the second you say Joey Bosa and Chicago Bears in the same sentence, you can already feel the split in the fan base. Some people hear that name and think, go get him right now. Others hear it and say, too risky, too expensive, too many injuries, and honestly, that is exactly why this is such a great Bears conversation. Because if the price is right, if the role is right, and if Ryan Poles is serious about giving this defense one more proven weapon, Joey Bosa makes a whole lot of football sense. This is not about asking him to come in and be the savior of the entire defense. No, that is not the job. The job would be much simpler and much smarter than that. The Bears already have Montez Sweat as the main guy offenses have to account for. They already have younger pieces and rotational bodies in the room. What they do not fully have is another veteran edge presence that can come in, win reps, create pressure, and make the whole front look more dangerous snap after snap. And that is where Joey Bosa gets very interesting. Now let's keep it real from the start, because this is where smart fans separate hype from logic. Joey Bosa is not the same player he was in his absolute peak years. Everybody knows that. The injury history is part of the story, and if Chicago were to make a move, it could not be some blind, emotional gamble based only on the name. It would have to be a smart deal, a short deal, a protected deal, a one-year type of move with incentives, roster bonuses, and enough flexibility that the Bears are paying for production and availability, not just reputation. That is the key to the whole thing. Because if Joey Bosa is healthy enough to give Chicago real passing down value, then suddenly this defense starts to feel very different. Now Montez Sweat is not carrying the entire burden. Now the line has more rotation. Now Dennis Allen has more ways to attack protections. Now offensive coordinators have to spend more time figuring out how to keep their quarterback clean. And that matters so much more than people realize. Because this is what Bears fans should be thinking about. If Caleb Williams is about to take that next big step, if Ben Johnson is really going to make this offense jump, then one of the best things the defense can do is give the offense more possessions in better field position. That is how teams become complete.
That is how interesting team becomes real contender. Joey Bosa would help with that. Not because he has to be a 15-sack monster, but because he can still be the kind of player who ruins key drives. Third and long, 2-minute defense, end-of-half situations, red zone pressure. That is where smart veteran pass rushers still make their money. And if the Bears can get even a controlled, efficient version of Joey Bosa, then the value becomes obvious. You are not buying a franchise cornerstone. You are buying disruption. You are buying edge depth. You are buying another problem for the offense to solve. And when you picture the fit, it gets even more fun. Joey Bosa opposite Montez Sweat on clear passing downs. The younger pieces rotating in and staying fresher. Dennis Allen moving fronts around and creating tougher matchups. Suddenly, the Bears are not just hoping for pressure, they are planning for it. That is a big difference. That is the type of move serious teams make when they know they are close enough to compete now. And that is what makes this conversation feel real. Not fantasy, not desperation, not hype for the sake of hype, just a smart veteran addition that could raise the entire floor of the defense. Would there be risk? Absolutely, no question. Age matters, health matters, durability matters. But that is why the contract and the role have to be perfect. If Ryan Poles can make Joey Bosa a low-risk, incentive-heavy, short-term addition, then I think the Bears should absolutely explore it. Because when you are trying to maximize Caleb Williams, help your defense close games, and give this team a chance to look dangerous in January, adding one more proven pass rusher is exactly the type of move worth thinking about. So now, I want to hear from you, Bears fans. If the deal is cheap, short, and built around incentives, would you bring Joey Bosa to Chicago? Or would you rather trust the young edge room and save the money? Drop your take in the comments, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and bear down, because if the Bears make one more smart move on defense, this team could get scary fast.